Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming back. I'm going to continue, of course, here in Canada, where we have communist state now. Some of the reporting that we're seeing, nothing from the CBC, because generalissimo of this man, Justin Trudeau, bought the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Things got started back at this man's day in 1981 when he wrote the Constitution of Canada, and he's a Fabian socialist. He used to teach Fabian sociology at the University of Montreal. He was a communist through and through. He used to go when Mao Zedong had taken over China, and Mao Zedong, before he took over China, was a organized crime member, let's say, actually the leader of the group. So he decided once the country plunged into civil war, he found a way to become the leader. He was not elected. He's not elected. This man's been elected 3 times by the Greater Toronto area. They always vote for him. I don't know why. Anyway, so some of the things that you need to do when you become the dictator of a country is you have to find a way to fix the system so that it operates for you, which of course it does. So mostly we've had prime ministers from Quebec, and Quebec does not have English common law. They have Napoleonic Code, which are the laws of a dictator, which, obviously Justin Trudeau is going to like it. No, everybody would like it. Everybody would like it. Right now, though, Justin Trudeau is considered a dictator and possibly the most hated prime minister in the history of our country. He's now talking about, this is getting even more crazy, that he's saving our children with the COVID-19. Well, the children of Canada are very, very depressed people because of him. I've been watching on YouTube, you can watch it yourself, doctors talking about the jab and how the jab has affected people, young people in particular, and it may have led to a new form of hepatitis. And I've noticed that here in the building I live in, we have 128 suites. It's seniors building, let's say, and it's people here are after the jab. Many of them have problems, and it's uncertain what these problems came from. They don't want to say it. Nobody wants to talk about it. This guy's name is Dr. Bean, I believe, and I think he's in England. I'll have to look it up again, but you can look it up yourself. And because of a Napoleonic Code in Canada, all of our judges in our Supreme Court, these people, they're all politically appointed. Not one judge, none of these people has ever answered a question from a member of the public. It is not permitted in Canada. We may not do it. This man, Brian Mulroney, a prime minister from Quebec, he's a Frenchman as well. His last name is Mulroney, but he's French. And he, as a lawyer, trained in Napoleonic Code. He appointed this woman. Her name is Beverly Ann McLaughlin. She has a 2-year law degree. As a lawyer, she did family law. And somehow, he called her right out of the blue. He just phoned her up, offered her the job. So she becomes a member of this elite group. And I've written to them, and they wrote me back. I was so surprised they did. But they didn't support me. They didn't care about justice. No, forget about justice. You got screwed, and you should be happy getting screwed. So after this man appointed Beverly Ann McLaughlin, this man, also from the province of Quebec, which is actually not a part of Canada, he appointed her to be the top judge. When she became the top judge, some judges disagree. She would put the judges that disagreed into a room and say, you're not coming out of that room until you agree. So the decisions of this group at that time were all unanimous. And then this constitutional lawyer in Toronto contacted her and said, you can't do that. You can't do what you just did here. And so she decided, okay, the decisions will all be 5-4 now instead of 9-0. Isn't that sweet? Doesn't that give you faith in it? None of them are unbiased. They're all political animals. They all are either conservatives or liberals, and they're picked by the Prime Minister of Canada. So what does the Prime Minister want in return? This man could not sue the Crown after the Crown prosecuted him, because Beverly Ann McLaughlin, this woman says you can't prosecute the prosecutor. But in this case, because he called her up and gave her a job on the Supreme Court, all of a sudden you can prosecute the prosecutor. And he got $50 million from the people of Canada. Fabulous. But he's from Quebec. He's not from Canada. Quebec is not a part of Canada. Most people don't know this. It's quite true. I want to show you one more thing because it drives me crazy. As you can probably again. We have another Prime Minister from Quebec. His name is Paul Martin. When he was Prime Minister of Canada, he needed a new Governor General. He could not find one suitable Canadian. There was nobody that could stand the test. So this woman was picked, and she's a citizen of Haiti. She's not a citizen of Canada. Isn't that great? In fact, he had to beg her. He sent this man sent 3 emissaries to convince her to become the Governor General. And she told the emissary, says, I am not a citizen of Canada. No. So they get on bended knee, the 3 of them. And by the way, emissaries in Canada, we have, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in Ottawa, they have trained wild moose to be able to ride them. And they rode on 3 moose. They went to Quebec, found her house, and she's living with a man who's a citizen of France. He's not a citizen of Canada either. And she was working for what that time was called the Radio-Canada, which is the communist arm of the CBC. And eventually they convinced her. So then there was a problem. She had to have a Canadian citizenship. She doesn't have one. So there was a really fast track. She became a citizen of Canada in only like 5 or 6 minutes. It was done. Just pencil whip that thing right out of here, man. Everybody else that comes to Canada as an immigrant has to apply to become, and they have to take an oath. I don't know if she ever took an oath to Canada. It would be nice to know. But this man was absolutely desperate to get this woman. Nobody in Canada met the criteria. Nobody. Not even this woman. And as you know, like in the United States, Joe Biden wants black women in government. Lots of them. I keep thinking about Joe Biden. You know, the Constitution says you can't deny anyone, but Joe Biden has denied all white people, just black women. What do you think of putting Whoopi Goldberg in there as the vice president? What would that be like, do you suppose? She could probably call up her old boyfriend, Ted Danson. Remember Ted? I don't know whatever happened there. I'd like Whoopi to explain that one. Ted's not talking about it. Thanks for listening. I'm going to go now. I know we don't have justice in Canada. We will never have it. I've been in the court many times. No judge does it. They rub their nose, they rub their eyes, they look at the clock, they look back at you, and they can't believe you're still standing there. One judge got so angry. Wouldn't hear me, of course. In the Federal Court of Canada, he charged me $3,550 for court time, but I was never in the court. I was in a thing called a settlement room. I've not been in the court. I had to pay the $3,550 on that day before I could leave the courthouse, before I could leave the building. I didn't. I walked out. When I got home, my phone was ringing. It's the lawyer for Canada Post who had sued, because I wanted to know why are they opening my mail. And they still open my mail. I have to go to the RCMP station to collect my mail. I once took $5,000 to the bank for a deposit. The woman grabbed the money. She looked me up. She says, "Where did this come from?" She's got it up in her hand. I was telling a friend of mine about that. He says, "Oh my God, who made an allegation against you?" His name is Fred Hamilton, Human Resources Development Canada in Amherst, Nova Scotia. He's the one that brought the allegation. It took me a long time to find his name, but I got it. But since the allegation is made against me, it's supposed to be $10,000 you have to explain. But for me, it's $5,000. And she wasn't giving it back. So I got loud with her. I said, "I sold my car." Did I lie? Yeah, I kind of did. I wanted my $5,000 back. You're not supposed to lie, you know. But if you tell the truth, like, "I've been saving the money," she'll say, "From doing what?" Why does a bank teller get to ask me all those questions? Canada does not have law. The people of Canada, we're screwed. And it's coming to you next, wherever you are. Compliments of Justin Trudeau, the good one. They, you know, the way the French people talk about themselves, you know. I am the good one. I am not a racist. That's a good one. This woman must be a drinker. And you know, I want to do something for you. This woman was the head of the Supreme Court of Canada. Here they are in their regalia, and you know that, see that white, that's a real fur, and it's from an animal called, Satan wears it too. I've forgotten the name of the animal, somebody out there knows it. But at the end of their day, they drink. And they have a drinking song. She's a philosopher, by the way. She studied philosophy. She has a bachelor's degree in philosophy. She got an LLB, and then she got a master's degree in philosophy and became the top judge in Canada. And I don't know if you know anything about philosophers, but philosophers pride themselves on doubting what they say. So at the end of the day, they sing a Monty Python song. I'm going to try to do it for you as well as I can. They sing it in the key of E. They're drinking, by the way. Okay? Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. I digger was a boozy beggar who could drink you under the table. David Hume could outconsume Schopenhauer and Hegel. Wittgenstein was a beery swine who was twice as sloshed as Schlegel. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. Oh, John Stuart Mill of his own free will and have a pint of Shelley was particularly ill. Plato, they say, could stick it away. Affricated a whiskey every day. Aristotle was a bugger for the bottle. Hobbes was fond of his dram. And René Descartes was a drunken subfart. I drink, therefore I am. Yes, Socrates himself will be particularly missed. A lovely little drinker, but a bugger when he's pissed. Thank you all for listening. My friends are going to close the show. Bye.
Wow, Pedro gives you his special gypsy glasses and this is what you choose to look at? Pedro's not very sorry for you.